and you would just be pleased if a few more would get into that area of research and try and prevent some of these things.
Yeah.
One other point I'd say is that some life extension research on the human body and would also help understand some of these existential risks or extinction risks, like say from some synthetic microbes or something.
Yeah, there is some overlap.
There is a little overlap, right? A little overlap.
Mm-hmm. There is.
And I just thought I just heard you mention about going on or septillion number of beings colonizing the galaxy and whatnot. Hey, have you ever, just a personal question, do you ever think about taking one of these commercial space flight trips to the moon or suborbital flight? Is that something that you'd want to do?
Sure, but I'd love to do it when the cost comes down. I think right now, if I had $100,000, I'd probably rather give it towards some organization working against catastrophic risks than to a suborbital space flight. I think that humans won't really move into space in any serious way until we get past this whole rocket thing. A rocket is basically a bomb with a hole poked in the side.
Yeah,
I like
is.
to call it.
Yeah.
So we lost 2 space shuttles out of like the 5 we built. I mean, that's so many hundreds of millions of dollars, and yet, they're reassuring us these suborbital space flights will be safe. Like, I really am afraid that one of these crafts will just go boom, and then space flight will be set back dozens of years. So I really do support space travel, but I also think there are a lot of serious problems we should focus on here on Earth.
Yeah, it is expensive. I always view it as something that it's something about human nature that we always have to explore, or we have to do new things. Otherwise, why live? So in that respect, I support space travel and going to the moon and this and that. At least keep some funding for that type of research and that avenue. Okay, I just want to ask again if any of the viewers out there have any questions for Michael tonight on futurism or nanotech. Michael, what do you think about how is nanotech progressing in your view, and is there any serious threat from some of the regulatory agencies or environmental organizations to shut the whole thing down, or is there too much economic incentive to ever have to worry about that?
Let's see. First, it's important to distinguish between nanotechnology and molecular nanotechnology. Nanotechnology, as the word is used today, just means anything involving nanoparticles, essentially anything involving anything with a diameter smaller than like 100 nanometers on a side.
Okay.
So
yeah, and that's more than a molecule.
Yeah. So I think that actually there should be more regulatory attention, not less, because there is a regulatory void when it comes to nanotechnology.
Pretty big?
Also,
pretty big void?
Yeah, like there was a recent study that came out which said that the United States was spending half as much as Europe on nanotech risk analysis.
Wow.
And I would like to see more money spent on it, because I also want molecular nanotechnology, like Drexler's ideas, to reach the radar of mainstream nanotech regulators. And I don't think that regulators really want to hold back the technology or stop it entirely. I think they just want to put safeguards on it, which some of them might be a little overzealous, but by and large, I think the notion of putting regulations on emerging technologies is reasonable.
Yeah, I guess that at least brings it out into the public sphere, and more people have their eyes on it that way. I guess better than having it all secret. Is there anything else? We didn't get any additional questions from the audience right now, but I just wanted to give you a little opportunity. We're getting on to be, usually the program is about an hour, that's about it, and we've already been on for 50 minutes. So I don't want to keep you all night, even though I can talk with you all night, as I have on occasions in the past. But anything else you want to promote that's coming up? Maybe you want to mention your book once again?
Yeah, well, I just would like to mention my book. I mean, I'm still looking at a publisher. I haven't even finished my manuscript entirely, but I'm pleased with what's been produced thus far, and I want people to get excited about it. I mean, could be one of the first books. Well, I really want to title it Transhumanism, but I'm not sure if the publisher will go for that, or I'm not sure if the feedback I get on it will, be positive towards that, but I do want to broach many of the main transhumanist topics, and I really want to create more positive connotations for the word transhumanism because, like, especially lately, I was reading Russell Blackford's blog where he wrote a piece called Transhumanism Still at the Crossroads. And the science fiction writer Greg Egan came up and said that he thinks that the word like anyone that self-describes as a transhumanist is a good filter for crackpots. And he thinks that most people who self-describe as transhumanists are crackpots. And this makes me sad because I want to build the connotation for the word, and I think that it is salvageable, and it's not really that damaged.
I don't think you're a crackpot.
Thanks.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think I'm a crackpot or Richard is a crackpot. I mean, from inside, I mean, obviously every organization has, whatever you call the tinfoilers or wingnuts. I don't know what you call it. But I mean, from the inside, the transhumanist and immortalist community and nanotech community, it's very rational and very scientific, and people live normal lives. It's not. And I just wonder, people with it goes back to not only the word transhumanism, but also the Immortality Institute. It goes back to that name thing, where no matter what you do and no matter how sane you are, people are so many different people, even people like Greg Egan, are going to label you as a crackpot just because of the name you've chosen. Now that's a problem, isn't it?
It is, but it's difficult to find a name that doesn't water it down so much. I mean, all of the other names look like deliberate hedging, from what I've seen, and don't have the strength of these new terms. And I think that the rate at which the popularity of these terms grows is strongly constrained to what you were talking about earlier, like the rate at which society in general accepts them. And it is slow, but if we change and water ourselves down, then we'll have people on board that don't even agree with us on the fundamentals. So I think that it more reflects society as a whole. If transhumanism is unpopular, immortality is unpopular, then first of all, the burden is on us to improve the connotations. And number two, we can't expect, Google-like growth from nothing because we're not the same thing. Like, we're not offering a product that everyone needs or anything. Also, we are offering a product that everyone needs if you think about it. But
yeah, if you think about it, and there goes the way to overcome that is to offer something to society that would be beneficial and accepted and that would have growth potential. But that takes, a lot of volunteer effort, a lot of thought and planning, and and that's where the crux of the issue is. A lot of people have great ideas, but getting the do part of it, instead of just talking but doing, that seems to be kind of the hint.
And it's important to recognize also that the connotations could change overnight. Like, I think that the connotations of the word immortality have actually improved since the Institute was founded. And I think that scientific immortalism has its own entry on Wikipedia. It has a lot more people taking it seriously. And we shouldn't underestimate, I think there has been exponential growth of the movement. It's just a low exponent.
Oh,
and
I see what you're saying. Okay.
I would say, like, the number of people involved is a lot larger now than it was when the Institute was founded. And, I'm not surprised to see it being covered in major news outlets. So, it's